as you can see, my boom boom bring life. Yes.
Somebody who loves me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you should definitely subscribe because your girl's a whole vibe, okay? Period. As you can tell by the title, we're gonna be doing my labor and delivery vlog. I thought about if I should do a vlog like this, but I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I need to, because the same way I was panicking when they told me I had to get an induction and looking at videos trying to see other people's experiences, I was like, I definitely want to share mine. But as you can see, baby girl is here. She's officially, well, she's not officially 1 month yet, but she's 4 weeks. She's like a day or two, I don't know what today's date is, but she's like a day or two away from 1 month. So as you can see, my boom boom bring life. Yes. So let me go ahead and just get started. If you're new here, this is not my first child, this is my second. We have a 6-year-old daughter, Alani, but it's been 6 years, so honestly I didn't remember a thing. I don't know, sometimes I guess your brain blocks out certain traumas. I didn't remember a thing. I did have a C-section with her. When I got pregnant with her, I felt like I was literally pregnant for the first time. I gave birth to her on July 26th. July 25th was when I turned 38 weeks officially. So at my 36 weeks doctor's appointment, my doctor scheduled me for a induction, and they scheduled the induction for July 25th because she was already measuring 8 pounds, and they were like, this is a big baby, we're gonna have to get her out early, especially if I wanted to avoid a C-section again. So I had a C-section with my oldest daughter. This time around, I wanted to make sure I was able to have a vaginal birth, because that's what I really wanted the first time around. But she wouldn't come out my birth canal from what I'm understanding. I thought she was breached, but after my doctor went ahead and looked back at the notes from when I gave birth to her, that was not the case. See, as you could tell, my brain, I didn't remember much. Everything from her is a blur. But after my doctor, girl, you gonna let me film? But after my doctor went ahead and looked back at those notes, because this is a completely new doctor, I'm in a completely new state, and she wanted to see why exactly I had to have a C-section. But yeah, that was the issue. The way she was turned, she just really would not come out my birth canal. That's pretty much what happened with my oldest daughter. So she kind of got me off track, y'all. At my 36-week appointment, like I said, they decided to schedule my induction. Now, when I tell you I tried damn near everything to induce my labor naturally, and this little girl was just not ready. I mean, we were doing walks, I was doing exercises, she just was not ready to come. Fast forward to induction day, we were scheduled to go in literally at midnight. Actually, we were scheduled at 12 a.m. on the 25th. So the 24th, we got to the hospital a little early. We got there like 11:30, went through intake and all of that. Is that what it's called? I don't know. We were checked in, I guess, and when I got to the hospital, I was already 2 centimeters dilated, I believe. I was 2 centimeters dilated since my 37-week appointment. So I was 2 centimeters dilated for a minute. Didn't change when I got there. Once they got us in our room, I immediately asked epidural. I've never heard of a Foley balloon, but that's what they inserted inside of me down there, and that pretty much expands and it helps with dilation. So they did insert the Foley balloon. That didn't hurt at all. Epidural had kicked in at this point, so didn't hurt at all for that. I didn't feel anything expanding inside of me. When they took it out, it didn't hurt. When they took out the balloon, I believe I was only like 3 or 4 centimeters dilated at that point. The balloon didn't do much for me. So they did go ahead and start me on Pitocin. And that's the one that I've heard of that makes your makes your contractions 10 times worse. Luckily, I had that epidural, so I didn't feel anything at all until my epidural started wearing off. Luckily, they did give me like a refill pump that I was able to, you know, refill on the epidural. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's like a re-up. So they gave me one of those things. Every time my epidural started wearing off, I was able to click it. At one point, when I clicked it, it wasn't doing anything for me. So the anesthesiologist had to come back up and top me off, was how he said it. Pretty much he just gave me a high dosage, like he kind of tripled the dosage. And once he did that, the pain went away. So like I said, once epidural wore off, those contractions, I was feeling it. So that Pitocin is no joke. So that was really the pattern for a while, honestly, because I was in labor, like I said, at 12 a.m. Let's just say we started the process at 12 a.m. 12 a.m. on July 25th. She wasn't born until 2:30 a.m. on July 26th. So that was an on and off thing. Feeling nothing because the epidural was just fine, and then us having to get the anesthesiologist to come back up and top me off. We had him come back upstairs like 3 or 4 times because I was not messing with that pain, and it just kept wearing off. I don't know what it is. So the Pitocin really got me where I needed to be, but after a while they wanted me to start sitting in different positions because she was still high up. So I was dilating, but she was still pretty high up, and we wanted me to be able to push. If she didn't come down, they would have just took me straight to do a C-section. So she had me do different positions, and by she I mean my midwife. Love her so much. I love her so much, y'all, because she tried her best to let me have the vaginal birth that I wanted, and it just didn't work out like that. Y'all gonna hear why it didn't work out like that. But listen, she had me in so many positions that we didn't even record, okay? And it actually worked for the most part in the beginning. So she had me do all these positions. She came right down. So my midwife knew what she was talking about. I'm trying to think. Now, throughout the process, they did let me eat, which I was surprised. I thought you couldn't eat when you were in labor. So, yeah. Throughout the process, they let me eat. The food there was disgusting. I'm trying to think. So I guess we could kind of fast forward to when I was ready to push. My midwife had me doing so many birthing positions to push. So we had some positions she had me laying in to get her head lower. Okay, once we got her head lower and it was time to push, my midwife had me doing all types of positions that I obviously wasn't able to record. At one point I was like standing up like this and pushing like 1, 2, 3. Like, we tried everything to get her out vaginally. She wouldn't come out. So they were able to see her head. They were able to see how much hair she had. It was like, oh my gosh, she has so much hair. She just would not come out. And I'm like, how? I was pushing for almost 2 hours and I tapped out at like 1 hour and 30 minutes or something. I was like, I'm tired. We have been pushing for a while and she's not budging. Like, I can understand that she was inching down. No. All you could see is her head and that was it. She would not come any lower. I tapped out and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to accept my fate and do this C-section. And baby, I was nervous because I didn't want another C-section and I didn't really remember details from my C-section with my oldest daughter. So I was just really nervous. I was so nervous, y'all. I was shaking. Now, oh, here's one thing that I didn't mention. I don't know what this was. I even spoke to my midwife after giving birth. She doesn't know what it is either. She did say that another mom that day had the same issue. I had the worst pain. Like when I sit up, I didn't have it. When I lay down, I had the worst pain, like across my neck and across the top of my back. Never been in that much pain in my life. I immediately was like, I wonder if this has something to do with the epidural. Like, I wonder if he put it in wrong. I don't know. Had the worst pain. Now, let's go back. They got us ready for the C-section. Now, obviously, my husband went to go get dressed somewhere else, and then they took me in to like prep me, I guess, or whatever. When I tell y'all, when I got in the room to be prepped for the C-section and they told me to lay flat on my back, mind you, in a hospital bed, you're not really laying flat on your back. When they told me to lay flat on my back, I was in the worst pain I have ever been in my life because of my neck thing. So this had nothing to do with contractions, nothing to do with baby. My neck pain. I don't know what it was. And I kept telling them, I cannot lay flat. And they're like, you have to. This is how you have to have a C-section if you have to get baby girl out. I'm yelling at this point, crying. I am in pain. I can't lay back. So give me like I was like, y'all need to give me some medication. Y'all not gonna have me sit here and lay in this pain while I have a C-section, because I know you're up while you have a C-section. I was yelling, I was raising hell in there until my midwife walked in and she was like, she's in pain. Y'all need to give her something. So my midwife, I love her down. She was advocating for me, okay? She was advocating for me, so the anesthesiologist or whoever was in there, they went ahead and gave me something. I don't know what it is. All I know is I can't remember a thing. So they didn't knock me out, but whatever they gave me had me so high. I don't remember a thing. So now the rest of this is pretty much what my husband told me. Because like I said, they gave me something. I don't remember a thing. And I'm glad they gave me something because it took the pain away. But like I said, that's so weird. My midwife said that another mom that same night complained about neck pain. So I really wonder if it was an anesthesiologist. Like, did he do the epidural wrong? I don't know. But from what my husband said, after I was out of it, they got baby girl out. After a while, I kept saying, like, I'm in a lot of pain. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be feeling this. And then I was saying how it was burning. I was feeling burning. So my husband immediately told them, he was like, she's saying she's feeling burning. Like, I'm literally mumbling this stuff. And he's obviously right next to me, so he's letting them know. So I guess once I started complaining of feeling a burning sensation, that's when they were like, oh no, we gotta put her to sleep. So it wasn't the pain. I'm telling you, I'm feeling too much pain. That wasn't it. But the burning sensation obviously raised red flags, I guess. So they ended up putting me to sleep. Put a whole tube down my throat and all of that. I have no recollection of that. Okay? Put me to sleep. Once they got me out of surgery, my husband said, once I started regaining consciousness, I do not remember this at all. He said I tried to pull the tube out my throat. I think they said 6 or 7 people had to hold me down. My midwife, when she came in the room to check up on me after birth, like the next day she came back, she was like, you were strong. She was like, you came up out of surgery and you started panicking. We had to get 6 people to hold you down, and it almost wasn't enough people to hold you down. Apparently, if I would have got that out of my throat, I could have damaged my vocal cords, from what they're telling me. But they said I panicked, which is about right. I don't like nothing down my throat. I don't like nothing coming up my throat. I'm glad they were able to get me under control so that they could take out the tube the correct way. Next thing I know, I am waking up in the recovery room. So I'm waking up, I'm drowsy. Baby girl was right next to me, but they immediately gave her to my husband, so he had her the whole time. I was knocked out, of course. I was waking up, seeing she was next to me. As long as I seen that she was there, she was good, I was like, okay, cool. And that's when I started waking up, and my husband was catching me up on what was going on. So everything I just said, he caught me up. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. Not only that, then they're gonna show me a video of me snoring in the recovery room, the same room I was in. Mind you, this is a shared recovery room, which I think all of them are shared. Yeah, so I was snoring like a grown man, and there were people in the room. I was so embarrassed when I woke up. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Recovery, C-section, it hurt. Okay, we were in the hospital for like 3 days. I was in the hospital. They had me taking pain medication. They had me doing shots that they still have. Oh, I didn't take my shot today. Oh my gosh, y'all, I keep forgetting to take my shot. They have me taking 1 shot a day for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. 6 or 8, I don't know. 6 or 8 weeks, and it's supposed to prevent blood clots. So yeah, my husband has been giving me those shots because I can't give myself a shot. I can't do that. Oh, is that poop on your... I'm like, is it poop on your hand, girl? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Okay, we're gonna have to cut the video. Okay, I think I have explained enough. I have to go clean up a lot of poop. Oh my gosh, let me get this off of you, girl. And then it's all on my sweater. But yeah, y'all, that was pretty much it. I really wanted to give my story because, you know, you hear a lot of people when they hear that they're getting induced, because it was me as well, you panic. But honestly, it's not that bad. If you're not against epidural, I know some women don't want it. If you're not against epidural, request it as soon as possible. And honestly, as long as epidural works, because it does fail for some people, so I've heard, as long as the epidural works, it should really be smooth sailing. Of course, you might not be like me. Your baby may not be big as heck. Oh, I never explained. So we had to end up doing, So she wouldn't come out because she was so big. That's why. She was chunky. She came out 10 pounds, 5 ounces. That's why she wouldn't come out. So I was pushing for an hour and 30 minutes and she wasn't budging because she was too big for my small frame. That was it. I don't know how I forgot to mention that, but that was it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me go ahead and clean her up.